Hi guys, happy Friday. First thing that happened as soon as I hit the go button, it said trying to reconnect. I don't know what it is. I do not know, but you know what? I'm hoping that that is the only time we have problems, because last week, oh my gosh, it was a hot mess last week. We made it through it though. Hey Suzanne, first one here. How are you? So it's Friday, and there's Teresa, there's Jane. So glad you guys are here. You guys, it's Friday and there's fun things going on Fridays. I love it when there's just like something extra that you didn't expect to finish out your week. And I actually have two things. One of which is, you guys, there are seed beads over on the Jesse James Beads website. So we've talked about this. I've actually known about this for a really long time, of course, because I have like the inside scoop. But you guys, they're finally here. Sarah has talked about them forever, for the very, it's been almost a year. Maybe not a year, at least 6 months. Sarah has been talking about seed beads and what should we get? What should they look like? What size should we get? And they're here. They are here. There are Toho size 11s over on the Jesse James Beads website. Everybody do the happy dance. Okay, so you guys know I have a love-hate relationship with seed beads, right? They make me screamy. That's just the way that it is. They drive me absolutely crazy. I do bead weaving here and there. And I'm okay at it, but I have one of those relationships with seed beads where when I'm done with the project and I have to clean it up and I have to separate all of them, I just want to throw them away. I'm like, I can't stand that part of it, right? They're tiny. They make me, my blood pressure like literally goes up when it comes to dealing with seed beads. But I love them as spacer beads, right? They are like the perfect complement to stringing. And stringing is like where my heart is, of course. And so to have the option to get seed beads and use them as, well, however you want to. I'm going to use a lot of mine as spacer beads, but to use them along with your Jesse James beads, to literally be a one-stop shop, that makes me so happy. I'm so excited. So over on the website, they come in like these really cool color packs. You get 3 different colors. They're all size 11, and it may just be the beginning of something new. So take advantage, and they're priced really well, you guys, really well. So go check those out. But not until we're done here. Second, the Tibetan focal beads. If you guys saw yesterday's video, I worked with one of the Tibetan focal beads. We're going to use one of those again today. They are so pretty, you guys. I have the whole collection, and I'll show the rest of them. We made a necklace yesterday on Jesse James Beads Facebook page for Facebook Live yesterday using one of the focal beads, and I have that necklace right here. I'll show it to you. We actually used 2 of the focals and some check glass beads. This is one of my very favorite things that I've made recently. I made this specifically for myself. So this is my new necklace, and it was using those focal beads. I don't know, they're just really beautiful. It's a really great kind of statement addition to your jewelry designs. If you're looking for something that is not everywhere, right? You're looking for one of a kind. These Tibetan focals are one of a kind, right? The only other people who are going to have them are other people who buy them on Jesse James Beads. But as far as like finding them in the box stores, that's not going to happen. So you're definitely going to have one of a kind pieces when it comes to these really beautiful focal beads. And they just have so much character. This is the one we're going to use today. They just have personality that I cannot quite put into words, which is a surprise for me because I got words for days. But anyway, so those are 2 really exciting things. Don't forget about the deals. The weekly deals are on the pull down menus over there. Take advantage of those. And we're going to make a really fun necklace today. But before we do that, I don't know, you guys probably are just like me, whatever, but we're gonna chit chat just a minute, because before I came and turned on the iPad to sit down, I carried a big box upstairs. I have a shopping addiction. You guys, quarantine is really, it's been bad for my bank account. I mean, like, it's been bad. So I don't know what it is. Like, why am I buying more things now than I would if I could just go out to the store and buy them? I don't know. I do not know. So I need adult supervision, and I'm here to hi, my name is Sarah, and I have a shopping addiction. I just got a huge haul from Cricut, and I just wanted to show it to you guys because I know some of you that are watching have a Cricut at home, whether it's a Cricut Air, a Cricut Joy, or the Cricut Maker. I know you guys, some of you out there do have the Cricut, and we do have some projects planned in the future using the Cricut for jewelry projects. And so anyway, long story short, one of 3 of my shipments from Cricut just got here, and I just wanted to kind of like show you guys how real the struggle is, like, to stop spending money. So Cricut.com, they always have a really good sale going on, and I just cannot resist. So I bought all kinds of Cricut stuff. I'm going to show it to you. Right? Tina says, welcome to the shopping rehab club. That's us. That is totally us. So I bought a bunch of stuff that I don't know. I probably am not even going to, I don't know. I got a thing of premium vinyl. You guys, go to the clearance section on the Cricut website. So this is a vinyl sampler. There are a bunch of neutrals in here. There's like this tan color, black, white, a brown color, a gold color, and a silver color. Yep, lots of vinyl. So there's that. There is permanent gloss. Okay, so this huge thing is full because I'm never going to use this much glossy vinyl in my entire life, but for some reason I felt like I needed it. I just bought, look at that roll of vinyl. When am I ever going to use that much white vinyl? I don't know, but I've got it. And if that wasn't a big enough roll, I've got transfer tape. Look at the roll of transfer tape. Okay, I'll never use this much. Never. I say that, but... So I got a big roll of transfer tape. And then my favorite part is paper. And this is what I really wanted to show you guys. Like the vinyl, okay, no big deal. You can get vinyl anywhere. But if you like paper crafts, and I really love paper, like I have a huge collection of paper that I use for cards and all kinds of things. So if you like paper, they have a lot of their paper packs. They're on sale for like $3 or $2, or not $2, but $3 or $4, which is a really, really good deal on paper. And so I got some floral paper. This is one that I got, and it has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different floral patterns. And the papers are double-sided, which I love. So there's like a floral pattern on one side, and then there's just like a kind of a standard pattern on the other side. So I got that one in, let's see, this one's called Soiree. I thought it was really pretty. So I grabbed that. It was like $3 or $4. All of these are $3 or $4. I did not spend a lot of money, but I got a lot of stuff. This one is Promenade in Nature or something of that sort. It's a bunch of pinks, which is not really, I don't usually use pink, but I thought it was really pretty. And again, they are double-sided. You can see on the back like what the patterns are. $3 or $4. And let me tell you, Walmart has paper packs that are more expensive than ordering them directly from the Cricut website. Just so you know, you can get paper at Walmart. This one has like blues and greens, so I thought was really, really pretty. So more paper, lots of paper. I have a paper problem. Let's see. And I didn't just get paper. There's one more thing of paper. So this was fall colors. I know all you can see is the orange, but there's like orange, yellow, green, purple, and a black. So this will be really good for the fall. And this is like really sturdy, heavy duty. This is the heaviest paper that I bought. And again, it was like $3. So I bought some metallic leather. Having a hard time finding leather. If you guys know where a good place to get leather for the Cricut is, let me know. I've looked on Amazon for like leather scraps, and even those are kind of expensive, and you don't always know what you're getting. So I only bought one piece of the leather, and it's just this like metallic color. I thought it was pretty, but it's not enough. I need some more. I got some foil craft board. There's some that's Christmas, some that is Thanksgiving, and some that is Halloween, which I thought was really cute. Again, on sale. I think that was like $2. I got a big thing of craft board, white, brown, and black craft board, and you can see it's really thick. I got a lot of this because I like this stuff. It's nice and sturdy for making like your own gift boxes and stuff. If you're into that, it's really cool. My very favorite thing that came in was this. I got craft board in holographic colors, and there's like a pink, a yellow, an orange, a green, and a blue. And I don't know if you guys will be able to tell over the look. I don't think you can. Can you see that shift in that like holographic? Oh, it's so good. I'm gonna make all kinds of mermaid stuff with it. Really, really liked that. It was also on clearance. And last but not least, from this shipment, I got an iron-on starter kit, which is this guy, and it's got like 4 different vinyls in it, iron-on vinyls, a weeder tool, and some designs and the instructions. And I like to start out with projects where I can follow the instructions before I like go crazy and make my own thing, right? And I'm just now getting into the iron-on stuff, so I thought this was a good buy. It was not expensive. So that's my Cricut haul. Just in case you were interested, Cricut always has really, really good deals, and I only shop in like the clearance section. And so there you go. If you're interested in Cricut stuff, I got Cricut stuff. If you've got projects to share, let me know. It's really hot in here. All right, so enough of that. Let's talk about today's project. Today's project is we're just going to be creating a pendant. If you guys saw the teaser pic online, we are going to create this little sun drop pendant. That's what I'm calling it, and I'm calling it that because it is a drop shape, right? If it were round, I probably would have called it like sunburst or something, but we're going to call it a sun drop since this is a drop shape. And it is relatively simple to do. You guys remember last week the project that we made where we would string the bead onto the wire and then bend the wire over and then twist it? This is very, very similar to this. So I thought this was like a good like next step for that kind of technique that we did last week. So we're going to do this, and then Melissa says husband took the card away from me. Right, well, see, that's my problem is I don't have any adult supervision. I have my own bank account, and so nobody can take my card away from me. I probably need somebody to step in. So anyway, we're going to do this guy, and then we're just going to use this focal on the top just because I felt like it needed some color, and this was the perfect addition. So we're just going to put this together, and then all I'm going to do is just put it on some leather. I just doubled up some leather cord. You guys can make a whole beautiful piece out of it if you want to, but I felt like the bead and the wire part together was like enough to make a statement all by itself. So that's all I did with it. Okay, so the tools that you're going to need, you're just going to need your standards, but you're also going to need your artistic wire mandrel tool or something that you can use that is about 25 millimeters around. So whatever you've got that'll work for that is going to be good. I'm using 16 gauge wire for the teardrop shape, okay? I tried with the 18 gauge and it just wasn't sturdy enough. Once I started doing the wire wrapping to it, it wanted to collapse on me. So definitely go with the 16 gauge. So Tammy says, is there a video for the quarantine box number 2? There is not yet. And let's see, what are we doing next week? Next week we're doing the magical mystery bead box. Let me ask Sarah about that, and I'll get back to you because those are fun ones to do. The quarantine boxes are so awesome, and I don't have the number 2 quarantine box yet, but I'll ask her, Tammy, and I will I'll let you know for sure. Okay. All right. So the other wire that you're going to need other than the 16 gauge is some 22 gauge. Again, I tried this with 24 gauge and it just wasn't strong enough. You can practice with the 24, but you really are going to need the 22 to keep it nice and strong. Okay. All right, so let's get to it. Hey, Trisha. Hey, Tina. What is up, my ladies? All right, so Betty says her husband does more shopping than that. Mine does too. Mine does too. He pretends like he doesn't, but he totally does. But yeah, that's why I don't have any intervention. I need somebody to like come and freeze my cards, put them in the freezer, freeze them into a block of ice. probably wouldn't do any good because I have the numbers memorized. And honestly, PayPal, I love PayPal. It doesn't matter if I can get to my card or not because there's always PayPal. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create this teardrop shape. And this is, again, 16 gauge wire. This is relatively easy to put together. So you're just going to need, you really only need about 6 inches of the 16 gauge wire. I gave myself a little bit more. I always do, you guys know. And this is the focal bead that we're going to use, but I got to tell you, any of the focal beads are going to be beautiful with this. Let me grab a couple of the other ones that I haven't used yet, just so that you can see them because they're so awesome. I really, really love them. So these are the ones that haven't gotten put into, they have not been put into a piece of jewelry just yet. Excuse my grammar, my gosh. So I picked out this one, but really any of these would look amazing with this. So it's totally up to you guys. And boho beads, not these, but Jesse James Beads boho beads, I think would look really pretty with this as well. So just some suggestions. Okay, so about 6 inches of the 16 gauge wire, and you're going to need something that is about 25 millimeters around. So we are going to first and foremost lift up just a little bit, and I'm just going to take the wire and put it on, kind of find the middle, hold it down with my thumb, and bend it around. Okay, and let those wires crisscross on the other side. All right, and there is our teardrop shape. I want to be sure that I get it pretty close to the other one, so I am going to kind of squeeze it down just a little bit before I move forward. Okay, so you can pinch down the crisscross on the wire to close it up and make it smaller if you want to. Okay, all right, so now I'm going to hold this tight with my fingers until I bring my pliers in here. Okay, I'm going to take the back piece of the wire, that back crisscross piece, and bend it directly up. Okay, now I want to see how I just kind of gave this one that was coming across the front, I just gave it a little bend so that now I can let go. I don't have to hold on nearly as tight. I am though going to come in now with my pliers and hold on to it and use this tail here. And the 16 gauge wire is pretty thick, so takes a little bit of strength. Whoa! See, a little strength to wire wrap around here. And I just want to go around about twice. Okay, I knocked that out of shape. That's okay. And then you just want to trim off the tail and then come back in here and clean it up because clearly I made a mess out of it. I'm just going to kind of pinch on it with my pliers to get it back into the shape that I want. So there's the teardrop shape, right? My wire wraps are not super clean and pretty. In fact, I'll probably use this one instead because it's so much cleaner and nicer, but the teardrop shape is the same. Now, I would recommend taking this and put this in or on your steel block and use a nylon hammer and work harden this just a little bit. Just for some extra security. It is 16 gauge, so it is really sturdy. Just like Wanda said, that is some sturdy wire. It is very, very strong. But you can put it back on, round out that round shape on the bottom, just kind of wiggle it around a little bit, give it a little pinch in with your fingers, and then work harden it just a tiny bit. It's not going to take a whole lot because it is rather strong. If you're using 18 gauge, like I said, I really struggled with the 18 gauge. So if 18 gauge is all you have, you can go ahead and make this, but I would recommend really work hardening it very hard, because when I came in to do the wire wrapping, it just wanted to, you know, it wanted to squeeze together. It came out of shape and it was too much of a struggle. So I just stepped up to the 16 gauge. But if 18 gauge is what you've got, just work harden it and you ought to be good to go. All right, so we have the shape that we want to use. And now we are going to use some 22 gauge wire, and you're going to need quite a bit of the 22 gauge wire. You're going to need, I don't know, I probably would start out with about 30 inches, and that may not be enough, and it's all going to depend on how much you use, right, in these little things, depending on how, and I guess these little bursts, right, I don't know what else to call them, these little curly things. There's no technical term for this. It depends. If you want these to be really, really long, obviously you're going to be using a lot more wire. If you keep them kind of short, you're not going to be using nearly as much wire. And you can always add wire on. I actually added wire to this one. You can't even tell where that happened. It is reasonably seamless to do. So start out using what you're comfortable working with. If 30 inches is too much to work with at a time, cut it down to 24, and then you can just add wire in later, okay? So just start with whatever you're comfortable with, but it does take quite a bit. So we are going to take our 22 gauge wire, and we need to anchor this, and so I like to wire wrap it around the two little wire wraps that are right here at the top, right? I'm just taking my tail and wrapping around over the wire wraps that are already there. If you don't like that, you don't have to do that. Makes no difference. You can just start with your wraps here and just cut your tail off. But I kind of like it anchored right there. I'm going to go ahead and trim the tail off. And now I don't have to worry about holding anything super, super tight. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are sturdy dangles, stangles, yes, stangles, sun rays, stangle sun rays. There we go. Okay, so we're going to take our 22 gauge wire, and we're just going to wrap around the outside of our little drop shape here. We're going to wrap around about 3 times. Okay, and I like to keep it consistent, so if you're going to do 3 wraps, keep it always 3 wraps. If it's going to be 4 wraps, make it always 4, okay, just so that the spacing is going to be nice and even between everything. Okay, so there's 3 wraps. I'm going to come around, and my 4th wrap is actually going to be the one where the business happens. Okay, all right, push all that up there, and we're good to go. So part of the reason that I like to anchor it to the wire wraps here is I don't have to worry about these wire wraps sliding down on me and me constantly having to readjust and push them up. So it's really just kind of more convenient. It's less of a struggle. Okay, so now all we're going to do is we are going to come in with our round nose pliers, and depending on how long you want each one of your little sun rays to be is where you're going to place your round nose pliers. Okay, so I want mine to be, I want them all to be different, of course. They're all going to be varying lengths, but you can do them all exactly the same if you want. I'm just going to place my pliers here wherever I feel like is a good place, and a good size loop. And my loops are not always consistent, but I'm going to wrap around the pliers like 1 time. See how I'm just wrapped around the bottom barrel. I'm going to open them up, close them again so that I can wrap around twice. Okay, so I wrapped around the pliers 2 times. You can see it's two wraps. Now the wire was coming from the inside going across the surface of this, so following the exact same path of the wire, this time it needs to go to the back. Okay, just following the same path. Don't try to wrap it to the front. Okay, it will curve in on you and make a bowl shape, which is not what we want. Okay, so now brought the wire to the back, and I'm going to kind of squeeze it over. See how I'm bringing it over here to where the other wraps are. I'm going to hold that in place as I bring the wire around. Oh no! And drop some beads in my lap. I'm going to bring that around, and I'm just going to do 3 more wire wraps. Okay. Okay. There was 3. Come back around for the 4. That's where our little round thing is going to happen. Now pushing it up here with my fingers, okay, to keep it as close together as possible. Now the more you fill in, the less you're going to have to kind of mush everything together. Now we want to get this twisty shape, right? We're going to take the wire and twist it. And the easiest way to do that is just to come back in with your round nose pliers. Put the round nose pliers going through the front, okay, of the loop that you made. Grab on, don't squeeze too hard, and just give it a turn. There's one, back through the front, turn, there's two, turn one more time, and there's three. And there you've got a little twisty doodad, and he's sticking out. Ready to go. That was super easy, right? There's nothing hard about that. And that's all there is to this. You're just going to continue that all the way around with 3 wraps in between, and then you're going to place your little rounds at whatever, you know, height or distance out that you want to. So again, I want this one to be a little bit longer, so we're going to do it again. Put the pliers in right in here. I'm going to wrap around the pliers once. Okay, open the jaw of the pliers up so that I can get it around twice. When I take it off, I've got a little loop. Oh, bye Jane, we will miss you. Okay, come to the back with the wire because it's coming from the front, just following the same path. And now we're going to wire wrap again. Just do 3 wraps. Okay, this is going to kind of help squeeze everything together in shape. There was 1. There's 2. Whoops. And 3. Okay, back around for 4, and that's where I'm going to make a huge mess is what I'm going to do. All right, now pushing all those together, you can see I'm pinching them together with my fingers, okay? And now I need to make the little twist. So I'm going to come in with the round nose pliers, go through the front, okay? Twist once. There's 1 twist. Into the front, twist again. There's 2. Into the front, twist again. There's 3. And really you just kind of tighten it up however many twists you want in it. If you give it another twist, it's going to be a little bit tighter, right? And you can always stick your pliers back in there and kind of pinch around to definitely keep that little round shape there. Okay? Twisty, twisty-dee-doo-dad, twisty-dee-day. That's a mouthful. Joan says, would using the smaller rod of the small bell making pliers work too? Yes. So if you want your loops to be consistent every single time, like I'm just guessing by using my round nose pliers, but if you wanted the exact same size loop every single time, you would definitely want to use like your small bell making pliers, because then your loops are always going to be consistent because the bell making pliers are not tapered. So yeah, absolutely. And you could use anything for this, honestly, anything that is round. If you've got, I don't have any tiny dowel rods, but a skewer. What is that, right? Skewer, like for the barbecue. You know, it's pointy on, it's like a huge toothpick. I use those in a lot of things that I do around my studio. So I have skewers everywhere, and that's also, you know, something that's going to give you about the right size if you want to keep them small. But you can definitely make big loops in this too, and the big loops look really, really cool. So imagine for just a second that we were doing this, and let's do it just to play. Well, yeah, okay, might as well. So, whoa, I'll knock things over. So here are the steps to bell making pliers. Let's do a big loop, not a huge loop, but just for the sake of saying that we did, right? We can always undo it. Let's do a big one. Now that's a big loop, right? Let's see what it looks like. Squeeze that in. Okay, just doing the wire wraps here. Just improvising. We like to play, right? It's Friday. All right, so I did kind of knock mine out of place. Let's see if we can wiggle it back. There we go. Oh, that was the wrong one. One more step up, people. All right, there. So that's nice. That's a big loop. Let's twist it and see what it looks like. So you want to go from the front. A little bit harder to hold these tools. This is a little bit tricky using a bigger pair of pliers. So that's not bad. It's not my favorite, but you could do it with big loops. It's not as clean as I like, but you know, there's something to be said about the big loop. You could do the big loops all the way around. Ooh, or you could do the small loops all the way until about right here, right? Not quite the bottom, but where we're starting to curve down to the bottom, and do the big loops down here on the bottom and then go back to the smaller loops. So a lot of different variations here. I mean, you really could play around with this. Thank you, Joan. That was like, yeah. Joan's question led me on a whole little tangent about all the other things you could do. And with mine, I didn't, you know, I didn't hang anything from any of the loops, but as I was going, I was thinking, you know, you could use these to dangle other things. And then the thought occurred to me to do this on a larger scale, right? Maybe increase the size of this 2 or 3 more times, and this will be a really beautiful sun catcher base. So then you could use your little holes that are on the bottom to dangle some really beautiful crystals and then hang this in the window. I think that would look really beautiful. You could do it with a circle instead of a teardrop shape and make a sun catcher out of it. That would be really, really beautiful. So this whole one idea could be done a million different ways and turned into a whole lot of different things. As I was making this yesterday, my daughter was like, oh my gosh, is that going to be an earring? That's going to be amazing. So I didn't really think about it being an earring, but you know, on a smaller scale, making a smaller teardrop and maybe not nearly as long of the twists, maybe with just the shorter twists, it would make a really pretty set of earrings for sure. The only thing I would worry about is like getting your hair kind of wrapped around all the little sunbursts, but who knows, you know, you could play with it and do whatever you wanted to. So I'm going to do a couple more of the loops and then we will move on and kind of put this all together, okay? So just decide where you want how far out you want your loop to be. Stick your pliers in there and wrap around the bottom barrel of the pliers 2 times. Okay, and then come to the back with that wire. You want that to always come to the back if your wire is going over the front. So just keep up with the direction of your wraps. You might be going the other way and that's fine. Just always keep it consistent. And then be consistent with how many loops you have between. Okay. And then again, just pushing everything together as you go. Now we've got this big, this big one. I'm going to have to kind of move him out of the way a little bit. Just disregard the huge one there. We were just playing. All right, so through the front, okay, with your round nose pliers, give it a twist, give it a look, come back to the front, twist it around again, and just twist as many times as you want to. The 22 gauge wire, you really have to use the tool to twist, right? If you were using 24 gauge wire, you know how we were twisting the beads last week? You could do that. The only thing is that the 24 gauge wire, even with the twist, it just didn't feel strong enough to me. But maybe if you work hard and did a little bit, I don't know. I do know that the 24 gauge, if you twist it too much, it will snap. And I don't have to worry about that nearly as much with the 22 gauge. And I feel like my little prongs that are sticking out are going to be nice and sturdy. So there you go. All right, so basically you would just continue all the way around, okay? There's not really anything extra to this other than just repeating what we were doing. You take your wire, figure out how far out you want it, stick your pliers in, wrap around twice, then do your wire wraps, and then do the twist. Don't try to do the twists before you have done the wire wraps, because it will not look okay. I promise it will not look good. So avoid doing the twists until after you've done the wire wraps. In fact, you could do the entire thing without doing the twists, and do all of the twists at the very, very end if you wanted to, you know, just kind of save it and do them all at once. So a lot of different ways you can do this. To finish this off, I did the exact same thing that I did at the start. I just took the tail end of the wire and wrapped around. You can tell this guy is kind of bulked up because he has extra wire wraps on him. That's where I just wrapped around at the end. You can just finish off with your last wire wraps and trim it off if you want to, but I just wrapped it around. It just seemed like it made more sense for me to do it that way. So everybody's is going to look different, and you can do this in a bunch of different shapes. You could do this in a triangle. You could do this in a circle. Really, I mean, it's the options with the little twisty thing. You could do just about anything with this. Also, if you don't want to make your own teardrop shape, or you don't want to make your own circle, you can always use a quick link and do the exact same thing. You just leave out the step of making the teardrop shape, right? You just do the wire wrapping to the outside of a quick link, or anything else that's already the shape that you want it to be. So you can cheat. I'm all about cheating. Go for it. Okay, so now the only thing left to do is just kind of put it together, and this is just quick and easy. I'm going to take our little focal bead here, and we're going to give it a little wire wrap. That's okay, Mimi. How are you? All right, so I'm just going to use some more 22 gauge wire, and I'm just going to do a wrapped loop, but I'm going to double this one up because I've got such a chunky little bit of wire wrapping here. I kind of want all of the wire wrapping to be pretty much the same, just so that it all kind of goes together. So I'm going to come in backwards 7, bring in the round nose pliers. Okay, I'm going to go up and over, on around, and there's our loop. Oh, Wanda says make 2 and you could connect them horizontally into a mask. You absolutely could. So creative. I love you guys. You're always so creative. All right, so I'm just going to wire wrap around. I'm going to do about 3, and then I'm going to cover up those wire wraps to bulk it up. So I'm going to go from bottom to top now and just wire wrap over the wraps that I already had. Kind of chunk this up. I'm running out of wire though. So my little tail, I'm going to have to pinch him down. Oops. There we go. All right, so that just makes it a little chunkier, okay? Now I'm going to thread on my focal bead, and I'm going to do the same thing down here on this end. I'm just going to do a wire wrap, and I'm going to double up on it. Okay, up and over, roll the pliers, take the wire on around, and give it a few wire wraps, and then I'm going to go back up and cover up those wraps and chunk that up a little bit. Okay, nice and thick. All right, now I'm going to trim that off, and I just remembered something, but that's okay. We'll improvise. I'll show you in just a second. All right, so this guy is ready to add to our pendant here. And the pendant, even though we have wire wraps here, remember, I didn't show you guys the loop that I made here. So I didn't continue make a wire wrapped loop. All I did on the top was I just took the wire and bent it over like that and trimmed it off. And I just made a simple loop out of this, even though it looks like a big wire wrapped loop, but with that 16 gauge wire, it's so big and chunky. It would just have been too much wire wrapping right there. So that's what I did. So this guy will actually open up. So I'm just going to open it up laterally, just like that, slide on one of my loops, and then close it back. And it looks seamless, right? You would never know if I didn't tell you. So there is our pendant. And then you can do whatever you want to with it. I mean, that's pretty It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Well, it's not super easy by any, but it's not hard either. Just give yourself some grace, go slow, have patience with it. And then I put mine on some leather. Let me show you what I did. So I just have this leather cord. This is just the brown Indian leather from Bead, and I just took 2 strands of this and I tied an overhanded knot. There's just a little room here and another overhanded knot. And originally I had thread my pendant on so that I didn't use a jump ring. And the reason for the knots was just to keep it from sliding all around. It kept the pendant right here in the center. But I forgot to wire wrap onto this as I was going. So we're going to use a jump ring, which I didn't necessarily want to do, but that's okay. It'll be all right. But anyway, to finish it off, all that I did was I just took these fold over cord ends. Well, these aren't the folder, this is just the pinch closed on the 2 ends, and then just added some hardware to it. So nothing really spectacular about the necklace part because I really wanted the pendant to be the star of the show. I didn't feel like a big necklace, you know, a beaded necklace around this was necessary, but you could, and it would be an amazing statement piece to build an entire, you know, huge necklace around this. But for me, well, let's do the jump ring first since we're being a little fickle here. All right, so there we go. Like that's, I just thought a piece of leather was good to go. Right, and then it just made a statement all on its own. So let me close the clasp here, and then I'll put it on a bust so you can see it hanging. And then I will let you guys go for the day. All right, whoops. This is definitely an interesting project. This was very much on the fly. Just kind of one of those things that I was like, I wonder what would happen if I did this. And sometimes when you follow those, I wonder what would happen if I did this, then something good happens. Other times it can be a hot mess, but lucky for me, I think it turned out really, really cool. It's definitely a statement piece, right? This is going to be a necklace that people are going to stop and look at for just a second. And either they're going to be like, oh, that's ugly, or they're going to be like, oh, that's really cool. So the people who think, ooh, that's really cool, those are your people, right? All right, so there you go. There's our little sun drop pendant with our beautiful Tibetan focal bead available over on jessiejamesbeads.com. And hopefully along the way, I've given you guys some more inspiration for different things you can do with this. Because if this is not like your cup of tea, you can still take this exact same, you know, project idea and turn it into a lot of other things. And like I said, a sun catcher would be just amazing. I'm not opposed doing that later today or this weekend. So, all right, Wanda says she likes it with the jump ring. Yeah, it was just necessary. Before I didn't have the jump ring, but yeah, it's not like it's that distracting. Sometimes the hardware part of jewelry just drives me crazy. I'm just really kind of nitpicky about that kind of thing, but it doesn't take away from it. So I'm okay with it. I'm not mad at it. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Hey, thanks for sticking around in the beginning and not leaving when I was going through my Cricut haul. You guys, that was totally random and definitely not jewelry related, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of share with you guys my my shopping problem. The struggle is real. So yeah, if you're interested in Cricut stuff, go check out their clearance section. It's good stuff, you guys. Paper packs for $3. Yes, please. I'm gonna buy more. No, I'm not. I'm done. I'm done. All right. Have a wonderful rest of the day, you guys. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys again next week. And if you've got jewelry questions or you just want to say hey, just reach out to me on Facebook. I'm always here. I try to stay off of Facebook over the weekends, but if you've got a jewelry emergency, I'm right here if you need me. So, all right, bye guys. Enjoy your day.